Good evening, everyone. Just finalizing my setups. Okay, perfect. Ah, good evening, everyone. How was your day? Hope you guys had a great day today. Ah, so as we go live tonight, I was just going through some studies and I decided to put some things down. I was like, okay, let's let's share with the community. Let's have a word with our people. So that's why we're going live tonight. Today we want to focus on be, do, have. I I've been looking at some topics and some studies, and I thought about the best topic to really focus on now that we're in the new year. Be, do, have, and the subtitle is more like becoming what your future requires. I'd like to open by saying that the future has a cost. The future has a cost. Let me ask you something at this point before we make any move. And I want honesty, not emotion. All right. How much more does the future you're asking for actually require from you? How much more does the future you're asking for actually require from you than what you're currently giving right now? So, in a single sentence, how much more does the future you're asking for actually require from you than what you're actually giving right now? I'm not looking for what you're planning. I'm not looking for what you're hoping or what you're praying. No. What does your future demand? Because there's a quiet truth most people don't want to face. There's a simple truth most people don't want to face. The future you desire is not waiting on time. I've always said that on our channel. The future you desire is not waiting on time. It's waiting on a different version of you. But the good thing is this, that's not condemnation. That's clarity. That is clarity. That's not condemnation. Some future don't arrive because they weren't denied. They don't arrive because they weren't prepared for. That is very important. Some futures don't come because they weren't prepared for, not because they weren't denied. You want growth, but you're still showing up casually. You want clarity, but you avoid silence. You want elevation, but you resist responsibility. Tonight is not about pressure at all. It's not about pressure. Tonight is about order. ORDER, order. Because life does not respond to intention. You've heard me say that most of the time on this channel. Life does not respond to its intention, it responds to alignment. And alignment has always followed one sequence. So, this is the meat of our discussion tonight. Alignment has always followed one sequence, and that sequence is be, then do, then have. So, be, do, have. You must have heard of the be, do, have framework. That is what we want to talk about tonight. Now, I started researching. I'm like, why is it that the future feels far away? Why is it that the future feels like it is so far away? Most people think that the gap between where they are and where they want to be is information. I've heard that. I've said that myself. But I found out that it's not 100% information. You hear people say, if I just learn more, if I just hear the right message, if I just find the right strategy. But information is really the problem, from what I found out. The problem is insufficient becoming. Insufficient becoming. You already know what needs to change. You've heard me say that so many times. You already know what needs to change. You already know where you are inconsistent. You already know what you have been avoiding. Life doesn't reward potential. Life rewards demonstrated identity. That's why two people can hear the same message, pray the same prayers, read the same book, and end up in completely different places. Simple. One of them becomes, the other one only wishes. And I've said, wishes is like building castles in the skies. No structures, they'll crumble. Now, to find out whether we're right or wrong, I took myself back to the original design. Let's go back to the Garden of Eden for a sec. The very beginning, now this is not religion, I'm talking design here. In the Garden of Eden, God did not start with Adam's productivity. No, that's not what God started with. God didn't say, work first, prove yourself first, earn your place first. No. Adam was created and positioned before he did anything. He was created and he was positioned before he did anything. So before Adam planned, before Adam named, before Adam even managed anything, he was. So that is the being. He was made in God's image. He was trusted. He was positioned. Only after Adam was, God gave him something to do. Now remember, we're talking be, do, have. Adam was, then God gave him something to do. God said, tend the garden. God said, steward what was given to you. God said, name what surrounded you, right? And after that, after he did that, Adam was allowed to have. Adam was allowed to have. Hello, chimpanzee. Hello. Sorry, I didn't get your name properly. Thanks for joining. So please let us know where you're joining from. Adam was allowed to have. All right. And what was he allowed to have? He was allowed to have authority. He was allowed to have provision. He was allowed to have access. He was allowed to have dominion. God never reversed the order. But we humans, we did. We reversed the order. We reversed it. So I started looking at these things like, how and where did we start living backwards? Today, people chase having first. Everybody chase having. It is supposed to be, do, and have. We have reversed the order. Everybody is chasing having first. If I can just get a job, you see people saying, if I can just get a job. You see somebody say, if I can just get the money, if I can just get married, if I can just get recognized. Then they say, oh, once I have it, I'll change. Once I have it, I'll grow. Once I have it, I'll get serious. But hear me, friends, hear me tonight. What you have will never fix who you are. What you have will never fix who you are. It will only expose who you are. You start talking about money. Why is it that today, if somebody gets rich overnight, it either becomes bad or it becomes good? Why? It's not because of the money. The money is not the fact that money exposed what he is. He had always been bad, but he never had money to show it. Or he had always been good, he never had money to show it. So that intention has always been there. So money, having, exposes who you are. Money doesn't heal insecurity. Success doesn't heal emptiness. When you're empty, you're empty. Success doesn't heal it. Relationship doesn't heal immaturity. They magnify what already exists. That's why some people receive what they prayed for and still lose peace. Because capacity was never built. Most of the time on our channel, I do say it is not always about prayer. You hear me say that most of the time. For those that are used to this channel, you hear me say that it is not always about prayer. Prayer is great, prayer is good, but prayer is not always the whole thing. There is planning, there's work to be done, and all those stuff, right? So let's get into the framework. B. Everything begins here. B. This is why B comes first. Being is not a hype. Being is not motivation. Being is not what you say on good days. Being is who you practice becoming in private. Who are you when no one is clapping? Who are you when no one is checking? Who are you when no one is rewarding? Because your private habits are voting for your future. I'll take that again. Your private habits are voting for your future. You don't rise to the level of your goals. I've always said that on this channel. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your identity. If you don't see yourself as disciplined, you always rely on motivation. And I do say discipline trumps motivation every now and then. Discipline hits motivation for breakfast. Motivation was not supposed to be your rod and your staff. Motivation was supposed to put you on the line if you're falling off. Discipline was supposed to keep you on the line. All right? If you don't see yourself as consistent, you always start strong and fade. That's a big problem. You start strong and you fade because you don't see yourself as consistent. If you don't see yourself as responsible, you always blame circumstances. This season is not asking you to do more. It's asking you to become aligned. Become aligned. That's what we're all about. We're not asking you to do more. No, just become aligned. That's B. Do. The second element in the framework. Do. Do is alignment in motion. Doing is not being busy. It's not business. It's not about grinding. It's not about proving anything. No, that's not what doing is here. Doing is alignment in motion. When your being is clear, your doing becomes simple. You stop asking, what should I do? And you start asking, what does someone like me do in this situation? That question will save you years and years and years. Instead of thinking of what should I do, the question now reverses. You're not like, in this situation, what does someone like me do? That is responsibility. That's you taking charge to save you a lot. Now, why is it that action feels hard? Why is it that doing feels hard? Action feels heavy when it's disconnected from identity. Oh, yesterday I was talking to some people I was invited to a TikTok live and I was talking about this same topic. Action feels heavy when it's disconnected from your identity. You're trying to act like someone you've never become yet. You're trying to act like someone you've never become. It's like you want to jump the line, you want to jump the queue and go to the front. No, it starts from being first. You need to be that person. You need to be that person first. After you've been that person, then you can now start acting like that person. It has to follow the sequence. You're not breaking protocol, you're not breaking ranks here. So discipline feels like punishment. Discipline feels like punishment. Consistency feels like pressure. Responsibility feels like stress. But when action flows from identity, it feels natural. So if action is disconnected from identity, discipline feels like punishment. Consistency feels like pressure. Responsibility feels like stress. But if you're connected, your action is connected to your identity, it flows natural. A consistent person doesn't debate consistency. A consistent person doesn't debate consistency. A disciplined person doesn't negotiate discipline. It comes natural. They show up because that's whom they are. They're not trying to be it. That is their being. That is who they are. Inconsistency is not a scheduling problem. It's an identity problem. You go to so many places and you hear people talking about schedule being a problem. But inconsistency is not a scheduling problem, it's an identity problem. Emotion cannot lead action. Emotion cannot lead action. Most people let emotion decide action. If you feel motivated, or if I feel motivated, I'll do it. If I feel inspired, I'll start. If I don't feel inspired, I will not start. Emotion is unstable. Mature people will ask, what is required? Not how do I feel? What is required? What do I need to do? What does someone in my position need to do? Your future is built by small, boring, repeated actions. Hear me? Small, boring, repeated actions. Not exciting actions. No. Actions that are boring, that are small, that are repeated. Please, if you join us, if you're just joining us, please let us know where you're joining from. Thank you so much. Now, coming back to what we're discussing, your future is not built by dramatic moments. It's not built by emotional highs. No. Consistency is proof of identity. Are you the same? Are you consistent? Or you're driven by your emotions? You're like a wave. Today you're high, the other time you're low. Is that how it is for you? Now let's talk about work, responsibility, and faith. You don't get promoted into responsibility. I've always said this on my YouTube channel. You don't get promoted into responsibility. You don't. You're promoted because of responsibility. If you're not trustworthy where you are, you won't be trusted where you're going. That's a lot. Where you are today, if you're not trustworthy, you won't be trusted where you're going. If you're handed small task to take care of and you can't take care of it because it's too small, if you get a bigger one, you won't be able to take care of it because another excuse is going to come. And I've always said that faith is not passive. Faith responds. Hello, Matthias Cole. Hello. God does not guide motionless people. God does not guide motionless people. Obedience does not require emotion. Obedience requires decision. And in this new year that we're in, don't let emotion be your driver. Don't let emotion be your driver in everything you're going to do in this new year. Let it be driven by direct decision, clear-headed decision, clarity being in the front seat, not emotion. Now let's get to the third leg of the framework. We've discussed be, we've discussed do. Now let's get to have. You remember, if you were here from the beginning, we're talking about be, do, have, following the right pattern. Have is the result. Have is not the target. Have is the result. It is not the target. Now let's talk about have. Having is not evil, but having must never be the focus. I'll take that again. Having is not evil, but having must never be the focus. When you chase having, it controls you. When you chase becoming, having follows you. Like we did say from the beginning, when God created Adam, going by design, not by religion, Adam was created first as a man. So that is being. Then Adam had to do something, had to tend the field. That is the doing before he had dominion. All right. Now, having when your focus is having, It controls you. But when your focus is becoming, having follows suit. It becomes a byproduct. It follows. What you have is a reflection of what you've become, what you've sustained, what you've proven capable of managing. I'll take that again. What you have is a reflection of what you've become, what you've sustained, and what you've proven capable of managing. You don't have what you want. Oh, no, 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 you don't do that. You don't have what you want. You have what you prepared for. You have what you prepared for. That will lead me to looking at capacity before increase. Capacity before increase. Some people get what they prayed for and they panic. They get what they prayed for and they run into a frenzy, they panic. Why? Because increase arrived before capacity. Increase arrived before capacity. God doesn't want to withhold blessings from us. Life withhold what will destroy you. Money reveals who you are. Influence reveals who you are. Opportunity reveals who you are. What you have amplifies who you are. That is why capacity had to be developed first before increase. If you go the other way around, increase before capacity, you'll get blown. You become more like a fuse that the source of current was more than what the fuse can handle. You'll get blown. Now, looking at this and this angle, something came to mind when I was looking at this whole discussion. Marriage doesn't fix loneliness. Marriage doesn't fix loneliness. Money doesn't fix anxiety. Success doesn't fix emptiness. They reveal identity. So all this reveals identity. That's why what you have must never define you. Titles change. Money fluctuates. Positions shift. Identity must remain stable. Now, bringing it all together. Be. Who are you becoming? Do. What alignment is required? Have. What responsibility attracts? Put it in that order always. Every time. That's how the design was from the beginning. Not trying to chase having first. Because when you do that and you get blessed, you get blown up like a fuse that got more capacity coming through it. Reverse it and pressure increases. Honor this order and growth becomes sustainable. Let me bring you back to the opening question. How much more does your future require from you that you're currently given? How much more does your future wait, man's drag? Hello. How much more does your future require from you that you're currently given? Because your future is responding right now, not to prayers, not to intentions, but to who you're becoming. You don't need a new year. You don't need a new environment, I'll say. You need new alignment. Be first. Wherever you are today, work on being. When you become the person you want to be in your private, then do. Act, do what that person should do, or that person would always do. Then having follows suit. The principle still works. The design still holds. And your future is still possible. but it will only meet you at the level of who you become. So the question is no longer, what do I want to have? The question is, who am I willing to become starting now? I'll leave you guys with this. In the message that I shared on the eve of the new year, we talked about the gym. Why is it that in January the gym becomes like a beehive? You see people, new runners, new dresses, or they get new renewals, everything new. They come to the gym, they start posting on social media. The car lot is packed full, nowhere to park your car. Then, fast forward 2 weeks' time, you now start having space to park your car. The screens don't change anymore. Now you have a machine to yourself. Before, when you come, there's no time. You say somebody's standing. Fast forward a little bit further. Now the gym comes to normal. Why? It is very simple. People have reversed the order. They did not be first. They were trying to do. The first order is be. If you are a healthy person, if healthy is part of you, you will not negotiate with going to the gym. You will not negotiate that. If healthy is part of you, no, you will not negotiate that. It comes natural to you. But if you remove the be and you jump into the do, oh, it's January, you want to get into the gym, and you're not really disciplined, in less than a month, you start negotiating, you start thinking, what am I doing here? It starts becoming foreign to you. Before you know, you start falling out. But if you are a healthy person in your mind, you are disciplined, going to the gym comes natural to you. So when you're in the gym, it is the place to be. It is natural to you. So that is B. If you are not, then you just want to join the paparazzi. You are in the second bucket. That is do. So you go to the gym, buy new trainers, buy new clothes, get everything, go to social media and post it. In the next 2 weeks, you wake up in the morning and you're struggling with the bed. Or you wake up in the morning, you're struggling with your car. You have all the excuses why you don't have to go. The reason is that you were not an healthy person in your head, in your mind. It doesn't come natural to you. So you jump the B you are doing. And your focus actually is on having, because your focus is on six pack. Your focus is on being very, very toned skin, toned muscles, and all that. You were not actually trying to live an healthy life. Six packs, toned muscles, all those curves, they are byproduct of being. Hello, Lindsay McAllister. How are you? Thanks for joining. These are byproducts of being. But if we decide to say, no, we don't want to be, we just want to do, I just want to get six pack. I just want to get six pack. Oh, that'll be, you are missing the whole order. You're missing the whole order. I think the right thing that we should always remember is respecting the order. Be first, do second, have third. Like we did say, having shouldn't be the target. Having is a byproduct of being. If you be, you will have. But if you start from doing, that is action, it will not be sustained because you will not be disciplined enough to get to having, because you were not that person. The same thing with wealth, the same thing with creating wealth. You become wealthy in your mind first. You become wealthy in your mind first before you start moving to, oh, acting. What do I do now to get the money? What actions do I take to drive in the money? Then the having follows suit when you take the action. All right, guys. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for hanging with us today. If this video resonates with you, please don't sit on it. Share it with someone. Share it with someone. Let someone else hear what you've heard. And if there's any question, thank you so much, Lindsay, not Alistair. Thanks for not making one of those content farm live streams. Thank you so much. Like I did say, or like I do say, this channel is all about direction. It's not about hype. We're not here because we want to be here. We're here because we want to lead people in the right direction. Well, that'll be all for me tonight. Thank you for your time. And if this resonates with you, please go subscribe to this channel. There are a lot and lot of videos on this channel that are bits and pieces of what I talked about. And if there's any question that you have that you think you want to ask me, feel free to respond to that, and we can always have a conversation. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your support. Have a great day. Signing out. Bye for now.